Hello and welcome to Public Conscience on Radio. On today's program, we continue our focus on the bill in the National Assembly proposing to eliminate the fraud and corruption in the electricity distribution system by criminalizing estimated billings by the electricity distribution companies, the DISCOs in Nigeria. And I want to welcome you again to the program. Public Conscience on Radio is produced by the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development, Primong, with support from the MacArthur Foundation. We seek to evolve a corruption-free society through the amplification of corruption reports done by our partner media organizations and drawing citizens and government attention to the issues for democratic actions against them.
First, let us remind you that birth registration and the accompanying document, the birth certificate, is free. If your child is under the age of 18, do not partake in the corruption in the registration process. Similarly, don't obtain the yellow card unless you have been vaccinated with the yellow fever vaccine at the designated clinics across the country.
On the program today, we are still focusing on the fraud in the electricity metering process. Like we told you last week when we flagged up this second focus on the program, our campaigns seem to be getting the desired attention as the National Assembly has commenced the process of getting into making a law or to criminalize estimated bills by electricity distributors companies in Nigeria.
If the bill in the House of Representatives is supported by the Senate and the President assents to it, it will soon be illegal for the DISCOs to give estimated bills to electricity consumers all over Nigeria. Meters must be provided for all when the law comes into force.
Massive campaigns against the corruption and fraud in the electricity metering system was anchored on the investigation done by the cable titled Prepaid Meter, a scheme that has become a scam. The report says citizens and companies have been made to pay for electricity which they believe they have not consumed.
The proposed law has sparked off a huge debate in Nigeria, and we are providing opportunities for the stakeholders to constructively engage with the idea in order that the real aim of dealing with the corruption and fraud in the system is not defeated.
The consumers are eager to see the passage of the law and are in support of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, who sponsored the bill and who has vowed to make it compulsory for electricity distributors in Nigeria to provide meters as a matter of law.
Mr. Kunle Kola Olubiyo, the president of the Nigeria Consumer Protection Network, joins us now on the program. Welcome to Public Conscience on Radio.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
And remember that you can be part of the program 090-2265-6167. We'll make available the live lines that you can call in as soon as we get our guests on to discuss some of the issues that we are going to be raising. But remember that you can send us your message now so that we get them read in the course of the program. And the line is 090-2265-6167.
Please make your messages brief and straight to the point. Do you support the bill? Will it help to eliminate the fraud and corruption in the electricity metering system?
Our guest, Kunle Kola Olubiyo, the president of the Nigeria Consumer Protection Network, will talk to us now. If the bill scales through, it will become an offense for the electricity distributors, that is the DISCOs, to give consumers estimated bills. Now let's fire up with the first issue, Adaobi.
Do you think this bill is coming at the right time?
Thank you. In principle, the bill is a welcome development in the sense that it's further demonstrated the enormity of the crisis in the sector. That means that the National Assembly is on the same page with the end users of electricity. But having said that, in practical terms, Electricity is a product.
We'll be coming to whether how possible it is.
How possible, yeah.
But we are just looking at the bill itself on
the bill, to the extent of its intention or the intention of the framers is good, but in practical terms, it's not feasible.
Why do you think consumers are enthusiastic about this?
We're enthusiastic about effective metering. If there's metering, you cannot criminalize estimated billing. What NAC as an institution, as a body, ought to do, which they have and they have not enforced, is capping. The power sector.
But you already said that they didn't do it. So
in practical terms,
the National Assembly say, look,
in practical terms, if you say don't estimate,
yes,
provide the meters.
Yes.
Now
they are not providing the meters.
And now what we are trying to say is that there's what we call talkism, and that's what we call playing to the gallery. In reality, we are inside the river, and we know how deep the water is.
The consumers.
Yes, the consumers.
Now,
and now we are on field.
Are you speaking for consumers?
Yes,
Nigerians who are at the end, who are actually paying estimated bills.
Yeah, this morning, yes, on a smaller note in the WhatsApp group, we've raised issues of even the map that they have, that some discos have increased their cost by the single phase and three phase meter by additional 12,000 or 11,000 naira without recourse to the regulator. And this meter is not supposed to be the preoccupation of electricity consumers. It's not our business to provide meter for filling station and
yes, because so it's not good.
And the NAC has not even spoken about
or buy petrol for a taxi driver.
Yeah, so it's like giving somebody my sister and still teaching or helping her out to marry her. This is exactly what the operators are doing. So
now, in the face of what you have just said, because of the difficulty, the meters are not available, and they are not providing in the estimated billings. You know the difficulties. Consumers are crying. They are shouting that, look, there are at times that they don't even know how, whether there's light or there's no light, they are given these bills. And the Speaker has come up with the National Assembly to say, look, provide them the meters.
Yeah, we are, even in days to come, we are going to work with the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President. We need to work on practicable things. There are times you can go based on political expediency. Now, this is a sector that's an economic driven, and at the edge of this, sustainable growth and development is the power sector. Once we don't get it right with power sector, we cannot create what we call the absorptive capacity to, there are a lot of people out there that have been to school, no job. So it's not just generating power to increase poverty. We are talking about power that will be supportive of growth. So we are looking at it intellectually, economically, and holistically, not playing to the gallery for political sentiments and what have you. So, and in real terms, there are things that needed to be done. The discourse, by their nature and structure, equity-wise, they are listed on the stock exchange just for formality, but they are not operationalized. And you cannot have like a beer park.
They don't have funds.
No, you cannot just. Like I've said in your radio station in Lagos last week, Monday, that you cannot have what we call a PLC in form of parako. 4 or 5 people, Buddha's cartel, will just go and file a name and say PLC. PLC is not for the fun of it. Yeah. PLC means that public quoted companies. And there must be what we call the initial public offering. So all this dancing around the issue will not address the issue. It's like having a cancer. We need to really get to the bottom of it.
You think the National Assembly itself, they have not done their homework? They are not assisting the consumers?
No, their effort is good because the National Assembly the attempt by the regulator of late to enforce, to be assertive. The same National Assembly is saying you cannot withdraw licenses of non-performing discos, interfering in what's supposed to be the regulatory mandate. And I spoke on Guardian front page on Sunday that it's not acceptable. So what we are saying is that by the end of this year, according to there are commitments that the disco sign on to.
But I think the problem now, our main concern is the fraud.
You cannot give what you don't have.
Yeah, because the fraud,
you can't give what you don't have.
They are killing the consumers. You bring a bill to the House, and the Speaker is saying, "Look,
no, the Speaker. What we are saying is that I have been to National Assembly, I have presented papers for establishment of NEMSA and in joint hearing and what have you. What we are saying is that the Speaker's intention is well intended,
okay,
and is in the right direction. It's a good intention, but by the end of this year, this privatization, the licenses that we're giving, if you give a license to a cocoa seller, somebody who has never had pedigree of power business. You cannot give what you don't have. But at the end of this year, what we have said is that there's no going back. Let us bring all the issues to the table. Those who cannot perform will dilute their equity. You understand? Or let them shape out. That is the way out, not this dancing around the issue. Yoruba people will say, Efetele and palapalapa. You know, when you have the main issue like cancer, you need to ostracize it, not dressing the face. What we are doing now is dressing the face.
Now.
Yes, we are speaking for consumers that, look, this approach, criminalizing it, means that there must be meter.
But why do you think the consumers are enthusiastic about the bill?
Look, we should not be progressing in error, like my brother always says. Let me borrow his language. Progressing in error. You know, the truth of the matter is that is
it out of ignorance that they are hailing and they are still actually looking forward to the meters?
No, what we are trying to do in days to come is that there are a lot of issues that got to do with the governance structure in the power sector. There are a lot of fiscal indiscipline. There are discourse that they will just see some ladies. Sorry, apology to the ladies. They'll just pick them from an eatery or whatever and give them GM. You know, duplication of functions, a lot of wastages. There are courses that Nigerians could do.
Or pick their brothers.
Yes, there are courses that they could do in Nigeria. They'll just go abroad. They'll just go abroad and be doing. So there are a lot of leakages that they need to close the gap. And the effective metering. Before now, the metering gap was 2 million. But when the discos were asked to do house-to-house enumeration, what we call neighbor to neighbor, of even the rooms and what have you, we discovered that the metering gap is about 7 million, which is huge. And that is still conservative. So how do we address that in practical terms? I'm not a politician, and I'm saying that what is it that can work? And we want meters. And estimation is just like a stopgap, which was created like a metering methodology. Now the discourse now are not taking advantage of it to close their books because of a lot of inefficiencies. I've told you that their books now is not because the power sector is not viable, but leakages and fiscal indiscipline, lack of governance structure, and the building itself. Yoruba will say, if you build a foundation of a house on a weak structure, it will be defective and it collapse. So this one shall not stand. And we are saying by December, it is time for us to do a review.
Which will not stand.
This power sector, if you go now,
it cannot stand the way it is.
It shall not stand. Not it
so
will not.
Wait, let me just take you out here, because we are actually very, very concerned about while we are doing all this digidali and we are running up and down with the carpenters that got the license, or are they having money? And where we are saying where we are saying this, the consumer is suffering underestimated billing. I mean, that's where we are. We are not looking at the bundle of the laws, the legislation, and that's not our primary business. But if we can also change the laws and drive away the carpenters from the field and solve the problem, that will be okay. But we are looking at tomorrow. People are getting bills for power that they didn't consume.
You know, this is an area that demands old investment and long-term investment. Now, people, like what we call we are suffering as a result of Nigerian factor. And you know that just the framers of the privatization deed really put us in the bobby trap. Like we are between the devil and the deep blue sea, or catch-22 situation. So we have to be very, very witty about it. And what we are trying to say is that in practical terms, the discourse lack the resources.
Okay, I was actually coming.
And they can't give what they don't have.
I was actually coming there, Kunle. I was going to ask you this question. Let us put aside all the sentiments and the politics in it. Let us put aside and look at this law. Assuming the National Assembly gets this law to skate through, the Speaker has said he is going to do it. That the Senate would pass it and the President will sign it. Now, do you think that it is really possible for every consumer to be metered, considering all the challenges that we have now?
Just like you cannot legislate.
No, forget about whether they cannot. We are assuming that they get this law.
We are trying. You see, we are working. As I speak to you now, we are working closely with legislative aides of the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President. I will probably extend that to the speaker, because at times, you know, they need to be guided.
When you say we
are consumer group, yeah. So we know what we have in mind. Our general focus is Nigeria first. Their intention is to make sure that public interest is preserved, and public interest take precedence over any pecuniary interest.
Speaker not working in public interest.
What the Speaker is doing is that we are trying to make sure that we get him guided
Okay.
You get what I'm trying to say? Because
what's the appropriate law to be made?
Yeah, the appropriate thing to do is that, one, the Electric Power Sector Reform Act of 2005 is obsolete. It's a sector-wide reform act.
Will it stop this metering challenge that we have?
Of course.
Because I've always reminded you that
our
concern is the today, as we are talking, people are getting.
Yeah, no,
they are paying for what the light they didn't.
Yeah, no, we are saying the same thing. What we are trying to say is that the discourse as it is now is a closed circle. Now, if they properly structured in the stock exchange, it will allow what we call the initial public offering. Instead of 5 people being the sole controllers of the discourse or the sole owners, 5 people just bringing themselves together as boudoirs. If it's properly quoted, now the public will subscribe. It's a viable business. The public will subscribe. Now the inflow of cash will come in.
Can we go back to my question, sir? So I think you should just move your mind away from policy and all those things. If this law is enacted, are the discourse in the position to implement the law? Let us forget about it.
In practical terms now, with the recent enforcement of market rules, with the recent assertiveness of NAC, you can imagine a disco making like 8 billion, 10 billion a month.
So they can?
No, you can imagine a disco making 8 billion a month and remitting 2 billion. Sometimes they don't even remit at all for 6 months.
How is that the problem of the consumer?
What I'm saying is that, you see, if you have an assertive regulatory institution...
But we don't have one. We're having a law being made. We don't have one.
That is what the December review of privatization... That's the point I'm saying. By December, I'm coming. By December, see, let me tell you one thing.
Consumers, you are advising your consumers to continue to pay.
No. By the end of this year, those consumers that have been made to pay, estimated, I have cases of people who were paying 30,000. By the time they got prepaid meter, they started vending 30,000.
Yes.
And I told them before they go for prepaid meter, let them make sure they get the printout of their estimated billing. Now,
so that they can recover their money.
They are recovering the money. They are recovering. So that they are recovering the money. We follow up the money. So what we are saying is that by December, the federal government that put us in this circle, said that the license is going to be reviewed. We'll bring our points. Those who cannot really meet up the SOPs, standard of performance, or what we call, what have you, we'll clean them up. And there are people like the Alicos that when they are handling businesses, there are people who bid there for this thing, that have all it takes, the resources, the expertise, what have you, and they were edged out.
You see, I like your passion.
Yes.
Kunle, I like your passion about the system.
The system must be institutional, legal, and regulatory framework. If you don't have it, then...
I like the way you want a holistic attitude to it. But the challenge we have now, what we are discussing now, is that the Speaker, in his own wisdom, in the National Assembly, feels that there must be pressure on...
In law of contract, that's what they call the enforceability of contract. There must be offer, acceptance, and consideration, which is the agenda. So what we are saying is that if you have a contract, you can have a contract that is not forcible. I don't know if you get my point.
Yes.
So we should not move into like a child's play that will have a contract. If you have a law,
why are you afraid? Why are you afraid that if a law is made, the discourse cannot raise money to?
I'm not, without apology to the discourse.
Yes. And
I'm not on the payroll of the discourse.
I know.
What we are saying here.
I know you are not.
What we are saying here is that we should not bring in sentiment. This is a market sector.
But it's the same song that the discourse are singing.
No. You see, what we are saying. What we are saying. One, the discourse equity must be diluted. You understand what I'm asking?
You are going into policy. I want to drag you away from all this policy and all that thing.
If you make a law,
being made, we have a law that is being made. So
we have a lame duck. We have a lame duck.
Why? Why do you think so?
Because those who did the privatization did not follow.
Why do you think if a law is made now that the discourse will disobey them?
See, in practical terms.
Yes. Why do you think they will disobey them?
In practical terms.
Yes.
The discourse that we're making about 10 billion a year and they're remitting 0 or 1 billion and nothing is happening. It's not that they don't have.
What is the business of?
We need to close the leakages so that
Will this law not force them to close the leakages and make it possible for all the monies to be available for meter? If they have to go to the equity market to go and raise money to buy meters, why will you give me
the component of metering? The component of metering now is a good policy. Have been decapped in what we call the meter asset provider. And what we are saying is that since it's a
it is not working, you have already agreed that it's not working, and that you are waiting till December
for money to come in. You see, my brother,
why is a consumer like you bothered about how the people who are running this business should bring in their money? If there's a law that says the consumer must provide meter, and that is the law, why are you bothered whether it is going to work? Or why don't you allow them to look for funds to provide meters? Why do you, as a consumer, and you are representing consumers here, and you have represented them very well in all the fora I've attended, why would they be waiting till January, till December?
That's the point. They say, let us all come together, come with our strong reason together, and come with our strong reason. This is our Nigeria. We don't have any other place. You know that the UN benchmark for power per capita ratio is 1,000 megawatts to 1 million population. And that's what we call energy poverty. We are sitting on gunpowder. Now, we are even generating about 7,500. And the average load that is being peaked is 2,500. It's a very cancerous situation.
How does all concern the consumer?
See, at the end of the day,
because the consumer is at the end of the day, the consumer is at all these theories you are talking about.
Before you even close 8 million gaps, if you have to even do installation, my brother, before you can even install 8 million gaps.
They're not aware of this before they ventured into this business.
We don't have no clear. See, before you can install 8 million meters, you take nothing less than a year or two.
Yes.
You get my point. But so in between that period, intervening period of that installation, we need to do things that will make the system work.
So are you proposing, sir, that if this law is going to be in existence, there should be a time
if this law is going to be in existence, it should go pari passu with other reviews so that the enforceability of the law. If this
it's
law
possible,
no,
you are worried that if the law is made the way it is now, it is incapable of being implemented.
See, that's what we call joint demands or complementary whatever in the demand and supply. If this law is passed, which is a good omen, you get my point. Now, you have a cancerous situation or a lame dog situation. Now, the present discourse as it is, by next month, NAC has even given an order that calling for the withdrawal of licenses of 8. As I speak to you from this Monday, they have been sitting on that thing where calling for public petition. Anybody that have issue against the discourse, you send to NAC because they want to review, they want to cancel their license, 8 of them, for non-performance. So I'm saying that if you have...
is that not in line with the law?
Yes, it's in line. So what we are saying, I'm using this forum to say whoever have issues should equally make submission against any discourse to further support the effort of NAC. Now, the generation companies now, they don't buy the gas on credit. They go to the bank, dip their hands to their pocket and buy. And when they generate and take it to the transporter and the transmission company, and the end use, the people who are the distributors.
How much of education is your organization doing to consumers? Because the details you are talking about, I can assure you that not many consumers know some of these facts you are trading with. Well, you have so much facts about the workings of the power system representing consumers, because you are the president of Nigerian Consumers
Protection Network.
You protect consumers, and it means that you have so many consumers under your umbrella. How much information do they have about some of this?
My brother, you see, the truth of the matter is that, take for example, every two weeks, like last week we were in Apple, the other week we were in Lugbe, and you were in Gogolada and we were in Kuje to do town hall meetings. And the problem we have, which we want to appeal to consumers, is that you have a program right under the nose.
You don't come.
You understand? You do all the publicity, you do all kind of thing. Even with phone calls, please come. We are almost. Are you still there?
Meanwhile, they are complaining.
And they are complaining. At home. That attitude of I don't want to waste my time. Some people were even asking me for the last one we had at Broadview in the Apple. That are you going to give me money? The ones I even gave money for 500 to come, they did not show up.
They believe that you have collected 1,000.
No, not even that. What we are saying is that Nigerians believe that this political campaign or whatever where they hire crowds and whatever, and that mentality. I went to Mokwa last year from my own expense. Again, whatever we are doing, consumer protection is selfless services.
Yes,
I've never had cause to enter Kenu. I've never asked to cross River Niger. I had to go with motorbikes and Kenu between Mokwa and Songa, where you have
to meet the
people and see their challenges. At about not less than 150,000 naira. Mokwa did not have light for 8 months. It's if not for advocacy and Niger State government that just intervened. This week now, that 7.5 MD is
provided. This matter so that consumers don't misunderstand you.
No. See, let us put it straight. As we are talking on radio now, there are listeners who have been educated. Yes. That is why sometimes we don't just talk on sentiment. I would have loved to just take a blind view and say, hey, estimated they are criminal, let them send them to jail. But while we are doing that, while we are supportive of the effort by
the Speaker
and the National Assembly as a whole, we are equally saying that there are other fundamental issues that
give rise to the original
thing. And so you have to start from the fundamentals. So and that is what we are doing on behalf of the consumers.
Okay.
We have said that the money the consumers are paying for this thing, they don't have options. That's why they are paying. But it's not their business. And we are asking the regulator to refund that money through the disco, through credit. Because some of them don't know. We are
not supposed to pay for meters.
Now, the truth of the matter is that this is the reality. These people don't have the money. We want a way out. But if we must bail them out, there must be a firm contractual obligation of how to refund the money. And that is what we are reminded. Anytime they want to forget about it, say, look, come, this money is not our business.
Okay. Let's pause here and allow our listener, the consumer at home, to be part of this program. So that I believe they have been sending text messages. We also take their text messages.
Send your text messages to 0902-265-6167.
The calls are coming already. Please, let's be very strict. Let's give opportunity for as many people to call. So please make suggestions and let us be civil in our contribution. Let's take our first calls.
This is Ojo from Juicy. Yeah, thank you. Please, I want to appeal to your guests today. Will they have time for us to come to this Makaranta to come and see what we are passing through? Say, the community has set up a transformer for the past 4 years now, and they refuse to power it. Even we have written to your organization, and we are still expecting them to do something. We want them to come and open our meeting with us so that in order to solve this problem for us. And joining the network, what is the social media that we can join? Thank you, sir.
That is Dusi Makaranta. I think last week we actually commended the AADC for providing meters in that place. We actually congratulated you, but we are going to work on it along with Kunle Kola Olubi. We will take a look at it and meet the discos to find out why they have not come to activate that meter. Let's go ahead to more calls. The transformers, please. Hello. Give us your name, where you are calling from, and then go straight to the point.
My name is Ade from Gwagwa.
Go ahead.
I want your guests to answer that question. If this bill is passed, what would they do? And that is number one question. Number two is that if these people know they cannot maintain a company, why do they buy this company in the first instance? They are rich consumer who doesn't want to know how maybe they cannot get big.
Well, you made your point. Let's go to the next call. Please go straight to the point when you are able to get on through. Hello.
Hello, my name is Fabian. I'm calling from Abuja. So my question is, your guest talked about how the 30,000 naira, excess billing can be recovered. What process do we have to go through to be able to get a refund of excesses?
Okay. We will give you the answer, but this answer you are seeking now, they are valuable for you just at the next office of the closest office of the discos close to you. They are all available and they will not provide such information. Okay, Kule will be your West.
Well, to be candid, you know that most consumers or customers, whenever they want to apply for prepaid meters, they don't take the pain of doing a printout of their account history. Before,
when you say account history,
no, like a bank statement.
I go to the disco and tell them to print out my account history.
Yes, like a
before
bank
they
statement.
install the meter.
Yes,
before
the meter is installed.
So don't be excited that you have a meter.
Don't be excited that you have a meter. Before a meter,
install the meter
in your house. Ask for your account history, which will be
what will I do with the account?
That is like a bank statement, which will show the history of your consumption. Now, underestimated billing. Somebody can just look at your face of your building, the size of your building, not minding the actual consumption, and slam a building, a bill on you. You may, there is a lot of corruptions.
So what do we do with it?
So when you have the account history, you keep them. Then you now get your prepaid meter. Meter is a metering device, is electromechanical
What do I
nature.
do with
What we are saying is that by the time you start loading your card, your credit, vending, for a period of 6 months, 3 to 6 months, that will take care of all. Is like an energy, what we call energy auditing, because the meter as a scientific instrument is said we give you the actual consumption. Now, for example, if your
when you have now after
when your consumption for 6 months is 3,000 for 5,000. And now your estimated building, they are giving 30,000, 50,000.
You go back to them.
You now go down and sit down for reconciliation. My brother, please, I get some jara reverse. You write for reconciliation.
That is, I've been receiving 30,000 naira as estimated billing.
Yes, and I've been paying.
Before I get the meter, I take and I get an account, account history, which I will hold. Then they install my meter. I continue to now buy card to buy power to use.
Yes.
After about 6 months, I will discover that on the average, I spend about 4,000 naira.
5,000.
So I now take
the difference.
I now take
the two. You now do a printout of your new meter.
New account.
And take the two for reconciliation. And
the problem is that these consumers under your
you see,
do they have this patient?
Yes. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. What I'm saying is that as soon as you apply for meter and it's installed, the first step you are going to do, is to write to the area office in Abuja and say, please, I want my account frozen. That means that there's tendency for the old account, the bill that was unilaterally agreed, fixed by them, to be migrated to without your knowledge.
We had callers who said that they
you ask, now this is very important. No, what I'm saying is that when you get a new meter, you write to the service provider, please, I want my account to be frozen.
I just wonder if everybody in Nigeria with a meter, right?
No, I'm coming now. If you write, I'm coming. So you don't take the pay. When you are writing a letter, don't just go and submit a letter. Make sure you have what you call acknowledgement copy. So if you submit that,
so if you are not smart like this, they just
overdash now. They hit it now. They close their. You know what we Yoruba call awodijewo ekwesonra. What it means is that the vulture perch on carcass or meat. Even when they see bears,
but how much? Let's take focus. Let's take focus. We'll be coming back to this. Hello, please go ahead after telling us your names and where you are calling from.
Yes, my name is Idris. I'm calling from Abuja. Please, I'm sorry to say this. Is your guest there representing the consumer or the discourse? Please. Is he really representing the consumer? Please. This is my question, please.
Okay, I can assure you that he's representing the consumers. And what he's saying is that many of the consumers, almost all of us who are consuming, don't have the basic facts on how to fight our battle. And that the speaker may be having very, very good intentions, but the fact is that it will not help the consumer. That is exactly where he's standing. And we should give it to him that he has done a lot of research on this. I don't want us to waste time asking him whether he represents the consumer, because we know why we invited him here.
What I'm trying to say, is very important, even to the caller, is that that there have been cases of people with 40 meter in between the replacement of the meter. Maybe
let's leave that now for now. Let's take some calls, because I want to see how they are reacting to the issue of the law in the National Assembly. Hello, please go ahead and let's hear you out.
My name is Silas, calling from Suleja. I'm a consumer anyway. But my question is, all this thing we have been talking since 1999 to date, it's not much necessary, because all of us know the right thing to do. Power holding company is a very rich company that we don't know. We paid for what we don't eat. We pay for what we don't consume. Sometimes monthly they come here, charge us highly, and we pay. And we don't want to have misunderstanding with them. We pay, but during that week, they supply electricity. But after collection of a bill, everything went off.
Can we just go straight, because you are going around and around? There's a law in the National Assembly that is proposing to criminalize estimated billing. What's your view about it?
Let this agency, let those involved in this collection or in these charges, let them give them orientation. Let them give them moral orientation.
Thank you, so that we can give opportunity to those who actually understand what we are dealing with. Hello.
No, my name is John from Unity. Unity is a stone throw from Apo village near Warri in Amak FCC here. I support the.
What do you say? What do you say is the name of the village?
Yimitu, by after Waru, near Apu, the mechanical.
Go
under Lokogoma area office.
So the truth is that we are not even consumers. The pure truth is that in the place we are staying now, there has been no light there before. It's not been now. This is the century. There is no light there. There is no pole. There is no nothing. About 3 years ago, Amak came and installed pole to the village. Up till now, nothing has happened till now. This 21st century, we are living without light. We even want the estimated meter but there is no light at all. We've not smelled light at all in that village. Please.
Do you think even when there's no light, have you been getting estimated billings?
And we are not even talking of billing. There is no electricity installment in that village today.
Thank you very much. I think Kule has taken notes so that we know how to follow up for you.
If you can still hear us, please send us a text message on 0902-265-6167.
Yeah, let's go ahead now. Next caller. Hello.
Yeah, please, we need Mr. Kule website so that we can communicate. Thank you, sir.
Okay, if you send us a message on the number we have just given you, then we will send you Kule's website or his numbers so that you can communicate with him. 090-2265-6167. Hello.
My name is Hope from Bari. There's something I noticed in Disco Bari, and I want to bring it to your notice and to the notice of the man in the office there too. Okay, when they are giving you bill, estimated bill of 30,000, if there is an issue, then you try to find out why the bill is so much. By the time they went into the system, they now realize that it's not up to 30,000. But the Disco refused to tell the people how much is it in the system, but they keep on telling you that it's not up to 30,000. So now I'm asking that man in the studio a question: who gives the bill, and the people that give the bill, why are they typing more than what it is in the system for people? Why? And where is the extra money going to?
Thank you. And please, if you are calling in, tell us if you what you think about the law that is in the National Assembly. While you are telling us your problem, we are not averse to hearing the challenges that you have, but also give us what you think. If you think this law can help you can stop this estimated billings and the corruption and the fraud in it. Hello. Please go ahead. Tell us your name and tell us where you are calling from.
Okay, my name is Steven. Let me just cut the story short. About the law in the National Assembly, if the law captures, most especially, I know the problem of this estimated billing that I can say is the issue of NH theft. If the law captures the issue of that NH theft, and the discos or whatever company that will take over or that will be in charge tackle the issue of NH theft, my brother, if they limited Nigeria, will have 48 hours steady light instead of 24 hours steady light. So that's my submission.
Thank you very much. It appears that's all we can take from the phone. Now let's we definitely have those who have been sharing their views with us on through our test.
Yes, we have so many, but I'll just take some. We have Dr. Lovett, who said she's in support of the bill that AEDC has killed her with estimated billing.
That's the Abuja
yes.
Electricity Distribution Company. That's that one is in Abuja.
It says she's been battling with estimated billing with AEDC. We also have Austin from Gwarimpa, who said he's in support of the bill, and Elisha from Kwaduma, who says he's highly in support of the bill and that they've not had light in Kwaduma for over 1 week now.
Kwaduma is Azokoro village.
Well, as we wrap up, let us just give opportunity to Kunle Kola Olubio to wrap up on some of the issues.
Well, the truth of the matter is that
somebody actually asked whether you are for the consumer.
No, yes. The truth of the matter is that consumers are in pain. Paying for energy not consumed. That is just the bottom line.
That's why they excited
that is why everybody's excited. The law is in order. It's good that the law should be passed. But at the same time, we must make sure that we upscale the other aspect, like I've tried to mention, which we are doing as a corporate firm, to make sure that other issues that will make the system work, they are equally addressed. Why the bill, we at least put some fear and provide some level of seriousness once they know it's criminal to do some level of estimation. After all, whatever law that is being chalked out by the regulator, it was the National Assembly that gave them the enabling law, so it's flow. So the National Assembly has the right to flow in direction.
Think, lastly, now, do you think it's NEC that should have actually come up with this bylaw since they already have the powers?
The delay in capping, capping of estimate.
That one would have solved the problem.
That would have solved the problem, because if, for example, within your neighborhood, the bill is 3,000 for the same consumption, and they refuse to meter you, then NEC they're supposed to have said, cap the billing. Don't give these people in social area more than 2,000. And because they want more money, they'll provide meters. And because of the delay, now Majamia Abela Air Force is going to close the gap. But we are not yet there, but with a sustained effort from all the stakeholders and the media, we are sure that we'll definitely get there. That is it.
We must be wrapping up now, Adawi.
Yes, we must be. In our next episode, we hope to bring in other stakeholders. Our focus is how to eliminate corruption in the electricity distribution company. The provision of meters is key in this regard.
Yeah, the reduction or the elimination of corruption is key when you look at the position of metering in the system. Of course, this is where we are going to be wrapping up the program today. We want to thank you for staying tuned, calling in and sending your message, and to our guest, Akunle Kola Olubiyo, President, Nigeria Consumer Protection Network. I want to thank him for coming on the program. Please visit our news page on our website, news.primorg.org. That is news.primorg.org. For all the details of our reports and interviews, and our videos are on Primorg TV on our YouTube channel, and you also visit our website www.primorg.org. That is primorg.org. Primorg is PRIMORG. We're also available on all social media platforms at Official Primorg.
Please don't forget that you don't have to pay for birth certificates if your child is under the age of 18. Do not partake in the corruption in the birth registration process. You can also drop us a message on info@primorg.org or 0902-265-6167.
Public Conscience on Radio is produced by the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development, Primorg, with support from the MacArthur Foundation. We want to thank you all for joining on the program. And remember to join us next week for another interesting episode of the program. And if you have a message to send to us, please do not forget. Kunle, thank you for joining me on the program.
Thank you very much.